You ruined Friday for me. Do you know what I mean? I was having a great time. Don't start ruining today.
Do you think I'm dying?
Absolutely everybody in the whole wide world. Action from the top.
I enjoy the idea of football on a Friday.
Do you know what I would love? Friday night game, Saturday, Sunday off. I genuinely think I'll have a waxwork made about me one day. Really poor defending. She just bullies Spurs. Villa, what is going on? The amount of money we spent, that's not good enough.
Chelsea just seem to have that X factor at the minute. Should we try and go? I'd quite like to go.
Hello, I've got training.
Oh yeah, you might be sacked after this episode. The top of the championship.
Bottled it, didn't we?
One of the biggest fights in boxing. These are two women that are historic in their craft as well. Like, they're so talented.
Ruesha just used to beat me up, but I could like chuck it. Hello, how are you? Welcome back to The Kickback. My name's Shebahn and Aherne. I'm joined by my evil, ugly twin sister, professional football player, only just, Ruesha Littlejohn. Coming up for you on the show today, we have a cracker. We're going to dig into the WSL results from the weekend. We're going to hear from Chelsea's Musovic, Erin Cuthbert Lucy Bronze as they prepare to take on Manchester City this weekend. That's going to be a cracker of a game. Plus, we've got an interview with Brighton's Maisie Symonds on her side's aim for the season under their new manager, despite that crushing defeat against Arsenal over the weekend. Plus, we will bring you a preview of the highly anticipated Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano rematch fight as the talkSPORT team are heading out to Texas. They sent Texas. You know, hold on.
Is that what it is, Texas? Yeah. Why are they not flying us out? Because they flew us out for it.
Oh, we'd only get in a lot of trouble in Texas.
Yeah, we would. Be fun though.
It's a tune though that Beyonce came up with. She'll go far. I think she's got a career in her.
She's got a future. She's actually got a future. If she keeps her head down and stays away from them parties.
Stay away.
You know what I'm saying?
Beyonce, yeah, focus on the good things.
Yeah.
Probably need to cut that out. We're only a minute in.
Is that?
Yeah, probably. But that's fine. How are you? How's your week been? Speaking of futures, you're back on the pitch.
I'm back on the pitch. Got a few minutes at the weekend there.
How many minutes was it? Like
10, 15? I don't actually know what minute I went on at. It was like 80, maybe.
I was actually there with my stopwatch.
15. Oh, she lasted 8 minutes this time. Fantastic.
It's a 3-month injury.
That's it. She's out now. Out for the foreseeable. Yeah, okay, back running. It's still a wee bit, I think, and it might need to get a wee top up there in it. But obviously it's just like managing it, trying to stay in a good place. And obviously there's loads of big games coming up, so hopefully, touch wood, we get to be involved in them.
It's such a crucial time. I mean,
I know.
And the international break's just around the corner. We'll get into it soon, but we've got Champions League this week. Obviously, we'll be watching at home.
Sorry, you were asking how I'm doing. I've been shattered all week. Like, I don't know if you know me. I've been nothing but an athlete for these last 2-3 weeks. Like, absolute woomph. And all I am is tired for it. Shattered. All I can think about is going home and going to my bed.
Maybe you're
That's
pregnant.
it. I thought that. I was like, one of my plastic toys might have actually impregnated me. So...
It sounds like a Netflix thriller.
I think that's like, there's something on the market for that, surely.
Plastic toy that impregnates.
Right, that is mine. No one copy that shit. It's copyright of me. That would make more sense. I think all the lesbians try to get pregnant out there. Let's make it more enjoyable with something like that. Do you know what I mean?
But how does we need a man's stuff?
We get that into the toy and then that...
But it needs to be alive. It needs to be alive.
But early stages of designing this, right? We'll get somewhere. Slow down.
Okay, stick with us for that. By the way, did you see Mary Earps is now Madame Tussauds?
Weirdly, I was scrolling and then I was reading it and then how that way it refreshes. So I didn't actually get to see what it was. So she's got a wee
waxwork at Madame Tussauds.
I genuinely think I'll have a waxwork made about me one day. Not sure when or what for, but I do.
Most injured player ever.
Yes.
You and Rhys James, hand in hand.
That'd be cute.
Perfect. Well, what I was going to say about Madame Tussauds, have you ever been?
No, I've not got time for that. To go and look at waxworks of people, no. Just look at a picture of someone. Imagine paying money to go in there to look at statues of people.
People are like that. Oh, don't I just get a selfie with Mary Earps, the waxwork?
Just go and get a selfie with Mary Earps. Like, she does it a lot. She speaks to loads of fans, so just do that.
And it's a waxwork. It's not real.
It's amazing what people can actually like make them and design them. I'm like, that's cool. But why are you paying money to go into a place to get your pictures with waxworks? Do something better with your time.
It's very tourist attraction thing, but
yeah.
I'm glad we feel the same. Okay, well, we had a great weekend of WSL action. We're going to get into it all now, Rue, before we talk about Champions League.
Okay.
Who impressed you over the weekend?
Well, if I'm being honest, I'll only watch the Friday night games because obviously I had a game myself, so I've been very busy. So, great that Arsenal are back to scoring goals. Brighton were shocking, but I think Arsenal done what they had to do. I think they were a wee bit good first half. Took the goals really well. There was some good football, so it was nice to see them actually playing sort of fluid again, bit more free. It was enjoyable to watch. A few good goals. I think second half it was a wee bit boring. I don't think Arsenal will be too worried about that. Then they get 2 late goals, so they'll be going, right, job done.
Yeah.
Brighton were poor. Like, what were Brighton really trying to do? I think they started and it was like, right, we're going to get after Arsenal. They went for the high press, and then it was just like Arsenal were just picking them off. Like, so I'm like, if you're going to do that, do it right. Is that showing the difference in teams? So everyone was hyping Brighton up right now. They're going, early days, they're at the top end of the table. But they've been hammered 5-0. Does that show the levels that are still there within the league? There's the top 4, and then like the rest of the table there's a massive split. So I don't think Brighton will be buzzing with that. And I get they've got players in their team where they think we can go out and get after teams, but I think as a whole, I think they've still got to respect where they're at and maybe be a bit more cautious, a bit more safe, stay in games, and then try and get your flair players on the ball and make stuff happen. But yeah, disappointing for Brighton. Wasn't overly impressed.
It was a disappointing watch actually as well, because I think, as you say, how much credit had been handed to Brighton and even the transfer window, the business that was done, and actually they have been playing good football. But then you go up against Arsenal when they've been there for the taking, you know. But Arsenal, to be fair to them, up the game. Things looking good with interim manager Rennie Slayer.
I mean, it's one game, really. No, what is it? Well, she played a couple of games, but like
3?
Brighton, 4? It's
4?
games that I'm expecting them to win. This is now where it gets juicy for them. Champions League. Come back, play at the weekend. Can they maintain the level?
Yeah.
Can they keep going? It's going to be such a demanding week for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Those teams involved in the Champions League. I know we're going to touch on Man City, Chelsea, but that is a humongous week for them.
Yeah.
But you've got the likes of Chelsea, where they've got the strength and depth in the squad. So I think we'll see them cope with the demands of the week. But Arsenal, Man City, it's going to be a big ask.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that. And actually, I quite enjoyed the Friday night.
I know, because you were sitting there getting lashed.
I was absolutely spewing everywhere. But I enjoy the idea of football on a Friday, getting the kids to bed, watching the women's games. I think it works pretty well.
Yeah, do you know what I would love? Friday night game, Saturday, Sunday off. That would be like heaven. That would be amazing. Imagine that. Friday night, then you're off Saturday. Few cans, few wines, off Sunday to recover.
Upstairs with your toys.
Back in on Monday. That's it. Yeah, that would be ideal.
There has to be a design for that at some point. Design
Friday
that
night
league.
football. Do you know what I mean? Then you're not competing really. I get there's some games here and there, but then it's like you can make that for the women. You can make that for the WSL and Championship. Make that like so that you're getting them people in. Come on, Friday night. This is what you're at. This is
Weekends off.
Yeah, and then they can go to the men's games on like Saturday and Sunday. You're not competing as much.
I think if we could aim more for that Friday night slot,
Yeah.
I would enjoy it. But you know what the fans are like. They might not be too happy that we've said that. But yeah. Right. Okay. Another game that we got to watch was the City Spurs game. Again, expected a little bit more from Spurs, but Bunny Shaw, I love her so much. She's the best, Ruth. She's an absolute handful.
Yeah. I don't think she really had to get out of
Second gear.
third gear. I'll say third gear.
I'll say second.
I think really poor defending, especially her header in the box. Great bit of play from Lauren Hemp, but she just bullies Spurs. Like, and she's not as if she's even like, boom, get out my way. She just kind of half-heartedly jumps, puts the ball in the net, and I'm like, you can't leave a player like Bunny Shaw that free in the box. At least nudge her, do something, put her off balance. Make it hard for her.
Yeah.
So, again, really disappointed by Spurs too. I think they've got a lot of good players in that team, but again, harping on about it, but does it go back to right now, there's such a big drop in like the top 4 teams, and then there's a massive drop right now.
Yeah.
I get teams are trying to close the gap, and they're really trying.
Well, because like Villa,
I could go through that table right now.
Go on then, go.
Well, Villa, what is going on? The amount of money we spent, that's not good enough.
Truth juice.
Not good enough. That's pure. Surely the manager is like, surely at Villa they're going, we've brought this guy in. What is actually going on? What's going on? Like, that's the amount of money that they've spent. It's not okay. Everton, are you having a laugh too? There's like 3 or 4 points at the bottom end of that table separating teams, so it's okay in the respect that if you win a game or 2, you might kind of climb out of that right now. But I'm like, it's so poor. It's so poor. We're harping on about the women's game and growing it and stuff. Not good enough.
So where's the issue?
I don't know. Is it actually down to managers, coaches? Is it good enough? What are you working on at training? What are you actually doing? Because sometimes you can watch games and I'm like, I don't really know what you're actually setting out to do. People on dollar bills each month and they're doing nothing. Sorry.
God, you're in your handbag this morning.
Just saying how it is. Just saying how it is.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, you're right. You're right. Oh, I agree with the Villa thing because they spent about $1 million in the transfer window. DePauw's come in. It's not happening. Man United also.
We're talking about teams like Everton. Everton and Palace right now have just come up from the Championship. They're on level points right now. I know it's early days, but still, you've got teams, experienced teams like Everton in that league, and they're minging. They're absolutely minging. Leicester, what are you doing at training? What are you working on? Managers, cop on, have a look at yourself. I can't doing all my badges right now, but I'm going to have to sort this out. Sorry.
Where's this come from?
I'm just saying.
I
looked at the table and I was like, what in God's name?
Well, the good news is when Ruesha's contract runs out this summer, the likeliness is that she won't be getting a call from any of the bottom half of the WSL table. We'll see. Let's just touch on Chelsea quickly, who beat Liverpool 3-0. And Liverpool, to be fair to them, they start lively. Again, an experienced manager, Matt Beard in the WSL. I think Liverpool have been impressive this campaign, and as were last campaign. But Chelsea just, as you mentioned earlier on, they're a team with so much squad depth.
I think Chelsea are looking and going, I think they've got a right now to have a bit of arrogance about them because they're absolute powerhouses right now. Change of manager, obviously, like Emma Hayes left them in a great position, but Sonia Bonpastor's came in.
Say it again.
Bonpastor. And there's so much competition in that squad, but it's good because we've touched on strength and depth of squad. Champions League games coming up, important games. People have to be firing, people have to be performing, taking their opportunity when it comes. Chelsea are doing that. And I think they're looking at not in a way like, I don't think they'll be taking anything for granted, and I don't think they'll be turning their nose up at anyone, but I don't think they're fearing anyone.
Yeah.
They're not fearing anyone in that league. Yes, Man City, maybe they'll be going, oh yeah, this is going to be a tough game. This is competition time. This is, Man City can play good football. I think Chelsea will go, you have the ball. You keep the ball. We're going to sit off yous. And then when it's time to come and press you, and when it's time to counter-attack and score goals, that's what they'll try. But Ramirez, she's sitting at home, she's painting her toenails, she's like, out for blood. Honestly.
I can't wait. It's going to be an absolutely epic game this Saturday. It's live for you, by the way, on talkSPORT 2. And ahead of this big fixture in the WSL, talkSPORT's Amelia Beltrao caught up with Chelsea's Zecira Musovic, Erin Cuthbert and Lucy Bronze ahead of this highly anticipated match. And here's what they had to say.
It's like, oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should talk about breakfast. Skip the question. The football.
Am I looking at you? Or am I
looking at me?
Right, I'm not looking at the camera, right? Okay, perfect.
No. Thank you very much for joining talkSPORT. Let's go through some fun questions here. Firstly, what's your go-to karaoke song?
My number one by Elena Paparizou.
Proclaimers 500 Miles.
Very good choice.
Every single Scots karaoke song, I think.
Of course, I'm sure it is.
I always say 50 Cent hit all of it just because I think rap.
50 Cent, really?
I'm not vocally blessed.
If you weren't a footballer, what would you be?
Good question. I think I would be a doctor.
Golfer.
Golfer.
Aye. Well, I'd like to think if I was good enough.
I used to say when I was little I wanted to be an accountant.
What's your post-match meal, favourite post-match meal?
Sushi?
Sushi.
Sushi, maybe? We've had every answer sushi
Sushi,
today.
we have a lot of sushi here.
Okay, it's your birthday. You can have any music artist, whether it's a band, singer, to perform for your birthday, dead or alive. Who would you have perform for your birthday?
Got to be Calvin Harris.
Shakira. I think I would invite them all. Like, get Beyonce, get Dua Lipa, Adele.
I'd come to your birthday. That sounds fun. And if you could have a superpower that could give you the edge on the pitch, what would that be?
To read people's minds.
Yeah.
Speed.
But so Zecira said that she'd want to read minds.
Some people I don't think much goes on, so it'd be worthless, to be honest.
If there was a film about your life, which actor would you like to play you?
I mean, I love Angelina Jolie, so she could definitely... Don't think we look similar. It's just because she was in Lara Croft, Angelina Jolie.
Adam Sandler. I just think my life's a bit of a calamity, but I love it.
Of course, we've got the big Man City game in the next few weeks. How do you feel about going, of course, over to Stamford Bridge and playing such a big game?
No, I'm so excited, first of all, to play at Stamford Bridge in front of our amazing fans, but also against Manchester City, which will be a huge one. So I'm so excited about that game. I hope it will be packed at Stamford Bridge.
Obviously, it's two big teams going at it against each other. It's a good chance for us to test ourselves, see where we're at against Manchester City. They've started the season well, just as much as we have, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of eyes on that game, and hopefully we walk out with 3 points.
It's a game that not only, you know, the clubs themselves and the players, but everybody will be having their eyes on it because it's kind of like the two teams of the moment going head to head.
Are there any players that's come to your mind that have been playing particularly well at the beginning of the season that you're maybe a bit wary of going into the game?
Not really, no.
Jess Park, Lauren Hemp, Khadija Shaw kind of starting where they left off last season. All three are in brilliant form. I think, you know, there's a number of players in that City team, I could say.
They definitely have some top quality players. I think their whole team is a very talented team. But Bunny Shaw is an amazing striker. Miedema, Lauren Hemp has been doing amazing for them. So they have a few players that we definitely should watch out for. Do you know what? Jill Rhodes impressed me on the fact that she's come back from injury, and it just looks like so many people you have to say, you know, give them time, and she's just hit the ground running. I think that's super impressive, just like on a personal level to be able to do that is fantastic.
And is there any particular skill set that you would maybe steal from a City player?
I'd steal Alex Greenwood's left foot.
I'd love to be able to dribble like Lauren Hemp.
My left foot's pretty naff, so it would be a fantastic swap. I don't think she'd be happy about that, but yeah, her left foot would be pretty good.
Let's go for some fun questions now about your teammates. So, who's got the best technical skills?
Maika, Amano.
Probably LJ.
LJ?
Who's the best finisher?
I'm going to say Aggie Beaver-Jones.
Guro Reiten. I quite like Kata Macario. I just think I've not trained with her as much because she had a couple of injuries, but a couple of crosses she's just got at the end of, and I was just like, ooh, I like that, yeah.
Biggest teacher's pet?
I'm going to say Micah because she just smiles, and it's like she's, you know, as soon as she puts that smile on, you let her off with anything.
Yeah. Guro Reiten. Guru, 100%. She'd say it herself. And do you know what? I'd even say that, and she's not going to say anything back to me because she'll just run to Sonia. And Sonia knows it as well. Sonia would pick her, and she'd pick Sonia, so it's fine.
Who's the most intelligent?
Sjokinusken. I think for me, Neve's quite intelligent. Z's very intelligent, like in terms of like just worldliness.
I could possibly say Lucy Bronze, but I'm honestly not sure. I'm still working her out, to be honest. We've only been teammates quite a short period of time, but other than that, I would probably say Zecira Musovic. She's came in my name. I want Zecira. Is that me?
That's you. That's you for done.
Hi.
If you want to stay here a bit longer, you can, but you don't need
All
to.
right.
Well, oh yeah.
Aye, I do, aye. Any opportunity, get that back on.
We've got Shebahn and Ruesha sitting in the studio waiting to hear this. Have you got any words to say to either of them about Celtic?
Yes, I can't wait to play. I'm sure they know how excited I am. Having the chance to play against Celtic, Scottish team in Champions League, but let's just say we'll talk after the game.
Well, Erin, you're going to get absolutely smashed.
Do you know what? I wish I could say that, but I'm actually scared for Celtic. I'm actually scared for Celtic, but I know it's like a lifelong dream of Erin Cuthbert's to walk out at Paradise and just sort of get at, like, just, do you know what I mean? Be there in the moment, present in the moment, and just enjoy it, because what a beautiful place it is.
It's a beautiful
It's
place.
a beautiful place.
But Erin Cuthbert is the biggest Rangers fan, isn't she? It's known that Erin's a Rangers fan. It's known.
Is it known? Jesus, honestly. But yeah, be a bit scared for Celtic. Hopefully they can just, really limit Chelsea, make it really hard for them. Be realistic. You've got to be realistic, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the Scottish League right now, but there's a massive gap. Like I say, there's a massive gap between the Championship and WSL. The Scottish League is also. But go, enjoy the night, make it hard for Chelsea, and you'll get to see the kind of level of players and the calibre, a quality that Chelsea have. But just try and frustrate them for as long as you can and try and stay in the game. Erin Cuthbert's probably going to get a hat-trick and she'll be like, But no, we'll get a wee signed Celtic top at the end of it.
Yeah, that'd be nice. A little souvenir from paradise.
Yeah.
What's brilliant is that Celtic have progressed to this stage of the competition, right? So it's the first time they've done that. It's their first game at Parkhead in the Champions League at this stage of the competition. So that's a huge night. And to have Chelsea, the best team, one of the best teams in Europe, the best team in England for so many years, up at Parkhead playing against them, is the games you want to play to get that experience and move forward. So you never know, but good luck Celtic and also Chelsea in the competition. I think for the long haul, Chelsea, as we've touched on earlier, just seem to have that X factor at the minute. You look at the forward line where the goals are coming from at the minute, it's just, they're unstoppable. It's funny they're listening to Lucy Bronze, not really looking out for any in particular City players. Was that game talk, or?
Do you know what? There's probably a bit of Lucy Bronze, like, she's been there, she's done it all. And what, she got 5 Champions Leagues? She's a bit like, she earns the right to maybe speak like that. Maybe there's a wee bit of her playing mind games there. Maybe it's for herself, but she's going, I've said that, I need to be on it. But we all know she's a very attacking fullback, and I'm sure the City players will be looking to exploit the space that she might leave behind her.
Yeah.
But God, like, that's the City front line, that is also frightening. It's absolutely frightening, and they're on fire. They are firing. So wait to see, it's going to be a pure boring 0-0 draw this game.
No,
but
I think
it should be lively. But yeah, I think when you're Lucy Bronze, you've probably got the right to have that kind of outlook on it. But
not so fussed.
She's like, whatevs, not bothered.
Yeah.
Cigars. But
It should be a good game. Should we try and go? I'd quite like to go if you're...
When is it?
Oh, no way. I'm working on Saturday.
Hello, I've got training.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly.
You might be sacked after this episode.
Why?
Because you have gone in on...
Not really. I've said nothing about us. I've just spoke about other teams. I'm just saying it how it is. Surely everyone's thinking it. Come on.
Still think Chelsea are going to win the league?
Yeah, I do. I think that Man City are in a great position. They're playing great football, but it's just the strength and depth of the Chelsea squad. And I get when you've got that calibre of player and the amount of them in your squad, it's hard to keep them all happy. But the thing is, when you get your chance, you're in, you have to perform. There's league games, there's cup games, Champions League games, and I look at City's, City have probably got a really good team, really good squad. But in terms of the changes that Chelsea can make within a game, I don't think City have as much power as what Chelsea have.
And also, I think what we have discussed quite a lot on the show is Mayra Ramirez. Even Ian Wright was saying it recently as well. Not really sure that the WSL has had a striker quite like this.
She's literally like a Diego Costa. That is who she reminds me of. She's just a bully. She just bullies people, but she's technically good. She's got a burst of pace. She can score goals. She's just a handful. She's kind of like that all-round striker you want to have. But her work rate's phenomenal.
Do you know what I love as well? When she brings someone down when she's deliberately fouled, and then she'll be like, and she's got this big lovely smile and stuff. Nothing to say here, and I'm like,
yeah. I'm intrigued to see how Man City will deal with her. Not sure who will start at the back for City. If going off the last few games, who would it be? Obviously Greenwood and maybe Kennedy.
Yeah,
I'm thinking Greenwood has experience to know I ain't getting too close to you. I'm not getting too tight to you. The only thing is sometimes when City play that high line, I'm like, I'm not sure how that will go down, but it's going to be an interesting game. Really looking forward to seeing it. So I hope I finish training on time so I can watch it.
Get home, watch that. By the way, you can listen in the car because it's live on talkSPORT too.
We'll be on the bus going to Durham actually.
Perfect. stick it on.
Great train, actually, on the train going to Durham.
I mean, that's talking at the top of the WSL, but the top of the championship.
Blown it, bottled it, didn't we?
Hold on a minute.
We didn't bottle it.
You didn't
we
bottle
were
it
poor.
at all.
We were poor. Credit to Birmingham. Credit to Birmingham. I've said that already. Best team won on the day. They sort of won the battle. They won the war. They won the football. They took their chances. We were poor from us because we look on our part. We kind of go up with set pieces technically that we've lost out on, and I don't think we really created much. But as a team, we know that we won't get much worse than that. I hope we can get better. Durham is actually a massive game.
Say Durham
It's
again.
Durham. Well, it is. It's
Durham.
Durham's actually a cute wee town.
Is
You ever been?
it?
Yeah,
I've
it's
been to
nice.
Durham.
It's very St Albans vibes.
Is it?
It's got a cathedral.
So it's a city.
Is it? Well, would have been back in the day.
That means our producer used to live in Durham.
Did she? Yeah.
Ah.
Cute place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
But yeah, so Durham, tough, Astro pitch. It's not a lot of football being played, so again, it's going to be a battle. So we better get our little fighting shoes on.
Absolutely, because we want London City in the WSL, so Ruesha can meet the teams that she's just slated in this episode.
Well, I'm out of contract at the end of the season, so I might not be meeting anyone.
This is true. You'll be here full time. Speaking of full time, talkSPORT Sam Matterface and Alex Crook sat down with Brighton's Maisie Symonds ahead of their game against Arsenal at the weekend, which ended up in a crushing 5-0 loss at the Emirates. But the midfielder was optimistic about their goal of finishing in the top 4 this season.
Well, Maisie, thanks for joining us. It's been some start to the WSL season so far for Brighton. New manager, some new players, some terrific results as well. How have you seen it?
It's funny because when Dario first came in, one of his first meetings was like, we're going to compete in this league. It's like almost we're going to win this league. Like he came in with all of this energy, and I've been at Brighton for 4 years now, and you know it's almost always been a relegation battle or like fighting to stay in games and stuff like that. And it was almost laughable. But after the pre-season, we all believed that we was going to compete in the league and we was going for top 4 and we was going for like to really do well in this league. So now we all believe it, and you can see now I think we're 3rd in the league and we are competing with the top teams. We're going to Arsenal on Friday and we are going with the goal of winning the game. So it's that shift in mentality. I mean, it's been 3 or 4 months now, but it's happened so quickly, and we're all sort of still learning it, but yeah, it's a really exciting time.
So what has Dario done and brought to the club that convinced you and the rest of the players that you can compete?
I think it's really rare to have a manager, especially in the women's game. I haven't experienced it too much, where they have such a set philosophy, they have such a set way of playing that they believe in wholeheartedly, and they convince you to play that way of football and teach you how to play it. And they're coming with the confidence that we're coming to compete in this league. It's you just have to buy into it. Like when someone's that passionate, you want to buy into what they're trying to teach you. So yeah, I guess that's what it is. It's the passion and it's the identity that he has and brought into the team.
Do you think in some ways those other teams at the top of the league would underestimate you as well based on previous seasons? Could that work to your advantage, that maybe you're a bit of an unknown quantity?
I think so. I think definitely at the very beginning of the league, if you said before we started the league and we said we're going to play possession-based football and we're going to dominate this league, they would have probably laughed. But all of a sudden teams are starting to change how they play against us, how they set up against us and stuff like that. So I think we're slowly starting to get people's respect.
And how much has the change in mentality, the change in ethos been down to the signing of Fran Kirby?
I would say down to the signing of Fran Kirby, the signing of Nikita, the signing of Vicky last year and Pauline. It's been a slow development, but obviously when you're pulling in players like Fran Kirby and you're training with them every day, that's going to happen. Just like every single day that happens. So I wouldn't say it's only Fran, but I would say to have a world-class player like Fran in the squad is not doing any harm at all.
Yeah, and Kiko as well, it's coming
of
from
course,
Japan.
yeah, like
Done
I
it
can keep
fantastic.
naming them, yeah.
And that's sort of, I suppose, testament to Brighton and the way that they've approached the recruitment for the women's team, almost as in the same fashion in which they've approached the recruitment for the men's team. Do you see that development happening?
Yeah, I've seen it since I've been here. It's been some tough years, but every single year I've seen how the club are investing in the women's team and investing in the players that they've got. It's been a big turnover actually every single year since I've been here, 9 or 10 players every single summer. but you can see the investment that the club is making into the women's team, and it's so exciting. But now it's like all of a sudden we're doing really, really well, but this has been a process, sorry.
You've got Nikita and Fran, as we've already mentioned, in the dressing room. You had Vicky Lasada last year as well. Do you tap into their knowledge? Do you utilise what they've been through, what they've seen, in order to try and enhance your game? Do you learn from them? What do they teach you?
Yeah, of course. I'm constantly asking them stuff, but it's almost like something that happens naturally anyway, because I watch how they train, I watch how they work in the gym, I watch how they sort of interact with the manager, and that's all that I can learn off of is the people around me. So it happens naturally as well, but yeah, I always pick their brains about like tournaments they've been to or funny stories they've got. I'm just so interested in the journeys they've already been on to be at the very top of the game.
The one thing we know about Brighton and Hove Albion from the men's game is just how much of a family club it is, obviously because of the recent history of the football club, where at one stage they were in danger of going out of business. Now they're competing at the top end of the Premier League. Does that family ethos spread into the women's team as well? Are you close with any of the guys in the men's team?
We are all at the same centre, so we're the same with the boys and the younger girls, and with the men's team. And at the start of the season, we all went for a big dinner together. Like, you often cross paths as well at the club, and it's always like, "Hi, good morning, how are you?" The men's manager came to our game on the weekend. We all cross paths a lot, and it does feel like a family. I think if you ask any of the girls, it does feel like a massive family at the club, yeah.
Is that one of the secrets to your success as well? And do you look at what the guys have achieved in terms of qualifying for Europe a couple of years ago, regularly beating the best teams in the Premier League? Do you take inspiration from that?
Yeah, I think the club are really careful when signing players about actually their personality and how they are and how they hold themselves, if they respect, how they treat each other. So it feels like such a homely place, a homely club. I love going into training every single day because of the people that are there as well.
You've captained England at youth team level. You've recently, well, in the last year or so, played for the under-23s as well. How close do you think you are to a place in Serena Wiegmann's squad? And are you targeting the Euros in the summer, trying to get yourself into that squad before then? Or are you looking further on at the next World Cup?
It's hard to say how close I am because it's almost like in women's football it can be a really good few games in a row. It can be the opportunity to start a few games, or it can not fall your way either. So it's hard to know. I would really love to go to the next Euros. Like, that's always been a goal for me. I even wanted to go to Paris. I had that written down, but obviously we didn't end up going to Paris as a country anyway. But I want to get in the squad as soon as possible, but I want to be ready as well. So if that means another year, another 2 years, if I'm ready in time, then I'm happy.
Have you always had that on your agenda, that you want to play for England and you feel that you've got it within you to be able to do so?
Yeah, I've always believed that I'll play for England, and that's been a massive goal of mine since I started playing football. I said before, I just had to pull out the most recent camp for the under-23s, but I have a little niggle in my back, and it's more of a maintenance injury that I just have to be careful of. I didn't pull out because England's not my priority, but my priority, I guess, is playing for Brighton and in the WSL week in, week out, because I know in the long term that's going to help me playing for England. So, yeah, it's definitely something that I see for myself in the future.
Just the last one from me. You've mentioned the coach has set you the target of challenging right at the top of the division. What is the aim for this season? Where do you hope to be come May?
Well, the club's goal is to be a top four. It's a top four vision, but with our goal being to go into every game wanting to win it. Who knows how high we'll finish, but we're definitely going into every game with that mentality. So I guess we'll see in May where we end up.
Oh, great to hear there from Maisie Symonds, the midfielder at Brighton. And for England, Rush, they've got West Ham at the weekend after what happened on Friday against Arsenal. How did they bounce back?
I think it's probably a good test for them. I think West Ham got their first 3 points at the weekend there. Is that right? I might be miles off it, but I think they did win their game. So they got 3 points. I don't know if it was the first.
So they won it
then? I think the quality in Brighton's squad, they should be able to win that game. But wait, is it home or away?
Home for Brighton.
Yeah, I think Brighton should win that game. I think if it was at West Ham, what do you call West Ham's ground?
Chingwell Construction Stadium.
Yeah, I think if it's there, that's it. It's kind of an awkward place to go.
I hate that place. You can't
park and all.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere. I hate Chigwell Construction Stadium.
God, we've really got something against West Ham, don't we?
No, I don't.
It's not the players. I keep saying this. It's not the players. They've got a good squad. They've got good players. It's just the club as a whole, man.
I know, we're a massive London club. We'll put the girls at the Chigwell Construction Stadium.
And we'll not let them play
There's no
our
public
stadium.
transport.
We'll not let them play our stadium, and we'll give them pennies to survive and see how they get on. But we'll tick the box. We'll tick the box that they get to play.
We're here.
Yeah, we'll tick that box.
Well, we do have a women's team.
Do we give a shit about them? No.
And it's up to
we'll tick
them
the
to pay
box.
for it.
We'll still tick the box, so whatever. But anyhow, I think that Brighton should win that game. They have to bounce back. I'm sure they'll obviously go through their analysis of the Arsenal match and they'll be like, Jesus, we were poor. Don't get me wrong, Arsenal scored a few quality goals. There was, I think, 2 or 3 of their goals, I was actually like, oh, that was really good, that was good football. People actually were starting to think that I was an Arsenal fan. I'm like, no, I'm not, let's clear that up. I'm not an Arsenal fan. But I respect good goals and I respect good football, okay? Anyhow, I'm losing my train of thought. Continue.
What have you had this morning?
I don't know. I think I've been so tired that, like I said earlier, I've been so tired now, it's just like...
It's like delirium.
I'm releasing it.
I love
shining again.
West Ham just got hammered there for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
But yeah,
anyway.
They should sort that out. Okay, Ruesha, we have a brilliant weekend of sport to look forward to.
I wasn't supposed to be hammering West Ham because we've got them in the Conti Cup next week. Anyway, it's fine because I say it's not personal, it's not the girls, it's the club. It's the club, so it's fine. Continue. Whatever.
Your fear there?
Yeah. I forgot about that.
That's like the most close to the bone thing you've ever
Hopefully
said.
someone from the club's there and I'll say to them.
What would you say to them if you saw someone in the club? Like, say what's her face come in, the woman from Karen.
I'd be like, what's your deal? What is your deal? Why are you doing it? You've already told them you don't care. You don't give a shit.
I don't think
You've actually
know that.
come in. Well, she's actually come in and spoke to them. They had a meeting last season and she basically came in and said that. She doesn't care. So why have you got a team? Take them out of the league. What are you doing? You've said they don't make you money. You don't care about them. You're not looking at the bigger picture of where the game's going. So what are you doing, hen?
Right, yeah.
I'd say that to her. I'd say, go and get me a drink. At least do something.
And coming up for you now, we're going to be talking about that Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano rematch with talkSPORT boxing contributor Vanessa D'Ambrosio. And I'm pleased to say Vanessa is with us now.
Hi, nice to see you guys.
It's great to see you. You once had a hit in Australia and around the world with absolutely everybody. And now you're boxing, you're Muay Thai, you're martial arts. You love to fight.
I do love fighting. It's amazing. It's the most empowering thing. And I think everybody should do it. It makes you a better human.
Can I just say, I know this is like, don't judge a book by its cover, but I think I would batter you, but you would absolutely maul me. So it's fascinating. Like, when did you first get into fighting?
So basically, it kind of started with, as a child, like I've got 4 brothers, so I've grown up only with like extreme ends of girls. Otherwise, everything in the middle for like 30 years is just men. So I've only grown up around boys, and we used to like play fight and everything. So everything from like boxing to WWE when I thought it was real, like really seriously.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not real?
Yeah, I was invested in the storylines and everything. And then anyways, I grew up and obviously it evolved to like actual fighting that I got into. But I was always really intimidated as a female and obviously being quite girly. The fact that I liked it. And it was 2 main things. It was having 4 brothers and one night they got jumped and it terrified me that if that happened, I'd be paralyzed with fear. And the second time was when I was in Brazil and someone tried to mug me in the street.
Oh, God.
And I just completely blacked out. I had a scrap with them. I don't remember it. They didn't take anything. I should have just handed it over in hindsight. But after that, I was like, I don't ever want to be intimidated again. And I went to my gym and it's just been the most amazing camaraderie of like people that never before we would have met.
Yeah.
And we've come together for this one sport and teach us how to win, to lose, to be humble. Everything about it is amazing. So I think more people should do it. It makes you feel better.
It makes us think, like, because I mean, talk about fighting growing up. Ruesha just used to beat me up, but I could like chuck it, you know. But I like the idea of feeling that if you 2 could fight on this table now, it could get the viewings way up.
Especially if we were naked.
I'm naked on
that
this.
Would be
Put a bit of jelly in there.
That's
Yo!
it.
But this weekend is huge, Vanessa, for women fighting fans like yourself, like us, for women sports fans. This is maybe one of the biggest weekends to look ahead to.
This is one of the biggest weekends for boxing in general. So first of all, we've got Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, who are actually headlining this. But having Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, which was one of the biggest fights in boxing, but in women's history, it was the first women to ever headline Madison Square Gardens in 2022. It sold out, and now we're going to have a rematch of this. It's undisputed, which is incredible as well. It's a rematch, and it's going to be viewed by potentially 500 million people.
Oh, wow.
So we're in a stadium of 80,000 live spectators. It's going to be on Netflix, which is the first time Netflix are doing a live sporting event as well. So I think women being on there, women being able to represent boxing, combat sports as a total, basically is incredible. But these are two women that are historic in their craft as well. Like, they're so talented.
I mean, Ruesha, you've met Katie Taylor.
Yes, I went to one of her fights. I think it was in 2022. And you know what? She's again, like, don't judge a book by its cover. Like, she is the most, like you've touched on, humble, down to earth. Like, you wouldn't, and then she could just box the head off you. But she's so nice. What a lovely person. And then she won that fight, obviously. So it'll be interesting to see how she goes. Obviously, she's getting on a bit.
Yeah, so she's 38 years of age. And then, she's 38. But Amanda Serrano's 36. So what I'm hoping for from this is obviously that it lives up to the first, which was one of the best boxing matches in history, not just for women, but in general as well. So if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. It was insane. So I want this to live up to it, because the other day in one of the presses, the girls were saying how they were open to a trilogy match. They were also open to a trilogy under men's fighting rules, which is 12 3-minute rounds, which I also think would be incredible. So if they can really bring more fireworks to this right now, then we could see a trilogy, and then maybe they can go right off into the sunset. But I do think that this might be maybe the last big match for both of them, just because they are at the tail end of their careers.
Obviously, I think if Katie Taylor won it, she'd be going, right, okay. But if that is like happening in the trilogy, that she has to go through with it.
Well, when they were sitting there at the round table, they were saying regardless of the results, they were open to a trilogy fight. So I think that would be interesting. The only way I see it not happening is if it's a very dominant one-sided matchup. But Katie won by split decision the first fight. Very, very close. I don't think it was a robbery. I think it could have gone either way. So we'll see who implements the changes in this fight. And then I think that will sort of set the groundwork if we have a trilogy match coming up.
And if that did happen, why would it change to 12 3 minutes? Because obviously there's this whole thing with women, okay, and I can relate to football, and people are going, make the pitch smaller, change the goals, which I actually can look and go, okay, that could be better, because we are not as strong as men. We're like, we don't have the hormones, the testosterone that men have. So why would we do that in a female boxing match now for a trilogy?
So it's more so that it's been more outdated, because what they've shown in women's combat sports is that women are able to keep up with the men. So in MMA, women fight the exact same rounds, the exact same rules, it's everything as men. So it shouldn't really be any different for boxing. So basically, it's just a bit of outdated sort of ruling. More women are advocating for the longer rounds because they're able to just display more of their skills, the versatility, rather than just being something which before was like, oh, let's just see them throw down really quickly in 2 minutes because they don't have the stamina. It completely changes the dynamic of the fight. So like there were some people that'll prefer it, some people not. But we have even the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight, they're doing 2-minute rounds. So it can be adaptable. It's no different. But for professional fighting at that calibre, I think that they should have the option, and it should be maybe more mainstream for the 12 3-minute rounds.
Makes sense.
It does. I mean, actually, looking ahead to this weekend, the headlines are very much so on Jake Paul and Tyson, and that's the thing. It's a shame because that's not been dubbed as a fight where you're going to see a lot of class. We're expecting to see a legend, an older guy now, and Mike Tyson take on a YouTuber, which I have no problem with. But actually you've got, like you say, it's a co-main event, but two women at the absolute top of their game, and maybe the focus isn't quite as much on that yet. Does that frustrate you?
No, it doesn't. I do see that point as well, but I think that Jake Paul is Amanda Serrano's manager and Eddie Hearn is Katie Taylor's. So they know what they're doing. They're using this as a platform, I think, to catapult women's boxing and women's sport as well. So I want to look at it the lens of like a more positive sort of outlook of it. And because it is right underneath the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul card, it's the co-main event. So people will get into their seats. They want to get warmed up. They might grab a drink, or if they're in a bar or something. So they are going to watch the fight before it. Right. That's what I think. So I think it will get the viewership that we want from it, and it will put it in line with that, because you have proper boxing fans watching it, and all the casuals would just kind of waltz in and be like, holy moly, look at
and
this.
And to stream it on Netflix, the fact that we can live watch it on Netflix.
Sorry, but the numbers are, that's mental numbers. If people all tune in, I'm sure I will. But like, that's phenomenal. That's crazy. But like you said, there's two businessmen. They know what you're doing. I think it actually is a real positive that they're using this and going, right, okay, we've got these two, Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, and then they're going to put Katie Taylor and Serrano under it. It actually makes sense in the bigger picture.
What I was thinking as well when I was sort of just like brainstorming, I thought, you know what, if we did this 5v5 versus like Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren in Saudi Arabia, and I just thought, wouldn't it be amazing? They've just had the women's boxing in Saudi Arabia on one of those main event cards. So wouldn't it be amazing if we had like Eddie Hearn with Katie Taylor, and we did the trilogy, and then we had maybe Frank Warren take on Amanda Serrano / Jake Paul, like he did with Deontay Wilder, and then we had the women's best of the best in that 5v5. I thought that again would make history once again for these women.
You might have to pitch it to them.
Yeah, maybe. But, and all they have is gratitude. All they have is gratitude for each other. And that's why I also thought it was so nice with these women when they sat there and they just said, I needed a dance partner like you, in order to bring out the best in me. And I think that's also super amazing. They're there to fight, but they also have the utmost respect for each other's careers.
Well, Vanessa, I think you've built up our audience nicely for this fight of the weekend. It's not just about Jake Paul. It's not just about Mike Tyson. Two of the best, Serrano and Katie Taylor, the rematch out in Texas. Have you wangled your way on a flight yet?
My God, I wish. Let's pitch it to them.
Yeah,
get a female out.
Got a lot of pitches today. Since we've got the fighting expert in the room, who's winning these fights?
So I think that it's going to be who implements the tactics and makes the changes first. It's either going to be Katie Taylor. She'll be more tactical. She'll work a little bit more off the back foot and sort of box Amanda Serrano. But Amanda Serrano goes in really heavy, a lot of pressure. She's got a heavy punch as well. I think maybe Amanda might have just the youth on her side in this one. She's been a little bit more active recently. It was close. And I think if she is able to land on Katie Taylor, she will get the job done. If it goes the distance, it'll be Katie. But I'm edging towards Amanda just purely because of the power she possesses, the aggression. And I think this will be round 11. It won't be round 1 of this fight. Like, she'll take off.
Okay, and Jake Paul?
My heart says I don't want Mike Tyson to lose at all. But I've got a feeling that, like, Jake Paul's 27, Mike Tyson's 58.
Yeah. He's a big, strong boy as well.
You know, and I just think as much as we can sit there and fantasize about how much we love Mike Tyson and the legend that he is, it is a bit of a spectacle. And I think that maybe Jake Paul will use his overhand right and probably get the KO. I think they'll dance around a little bit, make it entertaining. But, you know, it is a professional fight. It is sanctioned. They are allowed to knock each other out. And I think maybe, I'm hoping it doesn't happen, but I think that Jake Paul...
If Mike Tyson gets one hit, he's a big guy, like that could trouble Jake Paul, but like, I'm looking at going...
Jake Paul's like 6 foot something man as well.
Yeah,
big guy.
He's a big guy.
Yeah, he's
and
got
fast.
youth on his side, he's a fit guy.
Actually, that fight they had originally done, I was surprised by actually how okay he was. I mean, I know that's for a boxing purist, you probably think, no, that's slanderous, but did a job, so it'll be interesting to see. By the way, this is not Vanessa D'Ambrosio, the songwriter. It's our Vanessa D'Ambrosio. Vanessa, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We're looking forward to it this weekend, and don't forget the talkSPORT boxing team will be out in Texas, so be sure to head over to talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel for exclusive content in the build-up to the fight. Make sure you give it a subscribe as well. Vanessa, once again, thank you.
Thanks, lady.
Ruru, thank you very much.
And I've got to say a big good luck to Katie Taylor. Obviously, she's an Irish woman, legend of Ireland. So I'm wearing green for her today. Let's go, Katie.
Go on, Katie. You
Knock
got
him
this.
out.
Smash him, Katie. Smash her right in the chalks. Great to see you guys as ever. By the way, you can leave comments in the comment section. We'll get round to some of your questions next week about the WSL, about the Championship, about the title race, about Champions League, about who's going to take on the Arsenal job full time. Jump in the comments and we can have a discussion about that next week. But for now, we will leave you to it. Like, subscribe, and see you soon. Bye-bye.